Hi guys, welcome back to Slash 2. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Kyle.
And this week we're going to be covering a rather fortuitous topic, as it turned out.
We're also going to be covering the delicious liquid inside these bottles.
Yeah, we're doing another drinking episode. We're doing some gaming news. As most of you know, a lot of shit started popping off on YouTube the past couple of weeks. So we literally could not have planned that better. So yeah, we're basically going to be laughing at some people and complaining a lot. If you don't like those types of episodes, sorry, you're going to have to skip it.
Yeah, we're also going to do a mini review on a new device I've purchased, which I'm just...
Yeah, we're going to do some shilling.
I'm a shill, but I'm not a paid shill.
Yeah, it's not spons, but we like it. I think that's 100% of the stuff we do on this podcast at the moment.
So, let's start. So, Pro Jared has prolapsed.
Yeah, so this is a week-old news now, because this broke the day that our last episode went up. Mm-hmm. So about a week ago now. Big YouTuber, Pro Jared, big gaming YouTuber, does all the cons, blah, 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 part of a bigger group. Decided to put out a statement on his Twitter. He blocked his soon-to-be ex-wife, Heidi, on Twitter, and put up a statement basically saying that she was not mentally stable and that they had decided to go for a divorce, but it was amicable. Mm-hmm. Now, if you just read it, it was subtle enough that it wasn't an obvious dig at her. However, if you know what's going on, that thing about that, she needs to work on her mental health becomes suddenly a lot worse, because then Heidi put up a post. So it turns out that not only was Pro Jared abusing her, mentally and emotionally, mm-hmm. he was also cheating on her with one of his fellow YouTubers, a girl called Holly, who has been working with him a long time and has done lots of YouTube series with him, most of which have got very unfortunate titles now, because it's stuff like playing, sim games, and the episode is called Cheating on My Wife, meant his sim, except the following word is with Holly, because she's also in the episode. So there's a lot of them like that which are quite interesting to look back on. But she put up a post saying about what he had been emotionally and mentally manipulating mm-hmm. her, that he had blocked her when he put up the statement so she couldn't defend herself in any way. People quickly turned on him.
I mean, the whole situation, I would rate it, as quoted from one of his videos, failed marriage out of 10. Mm-hmm. The memes...
It then got worse, though.
Yeah.
Because once Heidi had put up her post, all of a sudden a lot of people started coming out of the woodwork. And a lot of photos started coming out of the woodwork.
You mean the Sailor Moon one?
It turns out our little friend Jared here has got a thing for sending nudes and trying to get nudes off of underage girls, which is not the first scandal we've had of a famous face, being a paedophile, but it's definitely the weirdest.
Yeah, I mean, has there been proof given on all this? Because I'll be honest, mm-hmm. I'm slightly out of the loop with this.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you literally just search his name on Twitter at the minute, you will not only come up with the nudes he sent other girls with his face in them, like, number one, basic error, dude. Never to have your face in a nude.
Female Snapchat filter.
But
throw them off the tracks.
But two, there are chat logs and conversations he had with people on his sexy Tumblr, because he had a normal Tumblr and a sexy one, not safe for work one. So people having conversations there, him texting people, him trying to convince people to meet him at cons so they could hook up with him, mm-hmm. all of which are underage girls. And the girls have come forward saying that this has been happening for at least the past 5 or 6 years.
I mean, that's disgusting, but more to it, who would want to hook up with that? He looks like a pug that just escaped a kitchen explosion.
Yeah, I don't like bringing in people's appearances and associating it with bad behaviour. I didn't really follow him until this drama kicked off, because I'm fucking living for this drama.
I didn't even know he existed.
Yeah, I'd heard of the name, but I'd never seen his face, but he's very rat-looking. I don't like making the association between poor looks and poor behaviour, because I'm not exactly the fucking most beautiful thing.
I am, though, don't worry, people.
But yeah, the fact that he managed to get so many, beautiful women, because I mean, Heidi is a professional cosplayer, she is gorgeous. Holly is, a lot of people have been taking the piss out of her looks recently because she's not as pretty as Heidi, but she's still good looking.
Can we just make a note for the podcast? I am making the money gesture right now.
It's amazing what a little bit of fame will will give you the leeway to do.
Yeah, some people do it for bragging rights. Oh, I fucked this guy, even though he's got a wife. And then everybody's just like, you're a fucking snake.
Yeah. I mean, again, lots of people started posting pictures of his nudes. There were several pictures of him at a Con hotel bathroom dressed as Sailor Mars. Dressed in very provocative sort of costume, which, you know, it's fine if that's your thing, but sending this to like 13-year-olds, that is not,
it's not Gucci,
it's not okay. So he put up this, he got a lot of, you know, backlash from it, and then a couple of days he updated another post, which really just shows him for how abusive he must have been to her. The whole post is just pure gaslighting. Basically saying that Heidi is the one at fault. Heidi's been posting all this stuff. Heidi's been posting that I've been, you know, trying to sleep with underage girls. Heidi, like, she's not posted shit. She put up an initial post saying he's full of shit, basically. And then everyone else came out of the woodwork with proof of what he's been doing, extra that she didn't really know about. Heidi is at fault. I never wanted these details to become public for both Heidi and my mental well-being. It's like, no, it's because, like, you didn't want people to know you're a paedophile. It's nothing to do with mental well-being, mate. Heidi wanted us to have a polyamorous marriage. Heidi updated saying, no, it was a mutual thing, I didn't bring it up in the first place, and 2, we stopped that pretty quick when we realised it wasn't for us, except you carried on cheating behind my back, mate.
To me that just sounds like, yeah, I want to fuck other bitches, but you can't fuck anyone else.
Yeah.
Probably because he was scared that, like, Ooga Booga, she'll go and get dicked.
Yeah.
And, like, this is just, it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know, but all I do know is that there has been some zesty fucking things that have come out of this.
There's been some zesty memes. But let me finish the recap of what's happened first.
Sorry.
So, he's then put up this post, like I say, and it's got stuff in here like, I helped Heidi find a new place to live and paid her initial deposits. I even bought her a car to facilitate her independence during the divorce. No, you own all of the bank accounts. She has no financial access because you were an abuser who cut her off. You had to do that for her because she couldn't do it herself, because you own her wealth at the moment. You've limited her access to her wealth to a point where she doesn't have any access to it. She's got 50% of all your assets, mate. Sit the fuck down. Like, give her money back. But yeah, he's just blaming Heidi for everything that's happened, and that she's so awful and she's terrible, and he doesn't really apologise to, you know, his co-workers that he's, you know, impacted all of their careers. He's not apologised to his fans. He's not apologised to the underage girls he was abusing. There's no apology in there. It's just blame. And I think it really shows the sort of person he is. Again, Heidi's come forward like, lol, what? Of course you bought, like, a car for me. You have the only access to all of our bank accounts. You took control of my entire life. I don't have any friends. I don't have any contact with anything. You don't allow me to be financially stable. Like, you have all of the money. What else is she supposed to do? But yeah, it's been a complete explosion. I definitely recommend everyone hopping on their Twitter and just having a scroll through, because it is a fucking riot on there.
Oh, there's so much good spice on Twitter at the minute.
Let's some of the memes.
The whole Pro Jared thing. A particular hacker of anonymous sort of origin, shall we say, has been making some very spicy memes that you need to go on Google search, really. But all I will say, the rumours of a video involving Doodoo and him and his mistress, and I'll just leave it at that. You guys can use the rest of your imagination for it. But that brings us on to another topic, one that I didn't bother typing in the script because I totally fucking overlooked it. But I have a tweet here from Ethan Klein from H3. I love you and your neck.
Oh, his comments on this whole debacle have been hilarious.
This is a segue onto our next topic.
Okay.
So this tweet reads, Beauty Guru drama better than Game of Thrones.
Yep.
And it's had 4,700 plus tweets at this point.
Yeah, because we're not really a beauty channel, but the drama of Pro Jared was quickly sort of swept up in another hailstorm of the James Charles debacle.
Oh
so.
God, yeah! Like YouTube drama at the minute is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's relevant because we're on that platform.
I'm not normally into whole drama stuff. I don't really bother with it because I don't know half the people. But I've just been living for it. Seeing these two sexual predators, getting in public reveal of what they've been doing and getting their comeuppance has been fucking beautiful.
But yeah, he got his comeuppance.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, like I say, it's not really our topic to cover beauty gurus and stuff, but it's really good to see the community coming together and listening to victims nowadays. I know it's not everybody. There's still people vehemently defending the two of them. But
it brought the community together in another way as well, because didn't he lose like 1.6 million?
So Pro Jared was the first person to hit all the play buttons forwards and backwards, and then James Charles has managed to do it like 3 times. The first one to do it in like a day.
Yeah. And oh God. Something else I was going to mention. Well, yeah, it brought the community together in a different way because we got to see a whiny little bitch do a really fake apology on YouTube that nobody's taken. And if I remember correctly, this savage like woman that made him, who's
Tati.
now also destroyed him,
Tati.
has released another video later saying why she did it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Basically, probably because it's the right thing to do.
I mean, he ruined Birmingham for like 2 whole days. Like in England, across the pond in Britbong land, where we have to have a license for everything. I wasn't aware of this. I was currently travelling at the time, I believe. And it was like, why the fuck is Birmingham on like full on lockdown? And it's because he opened a fucking makeup stall in the Bullring, and it was like swarmed with like 14-year-old screams, and like.
And there's nothing wrong with like makeup and beauty and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's really, really important, especially for some people who feel that it gives them the extra confidence, the extra power they need. But using that as a way to get an audience quickly and easily, because you know that they're insecure, and then using that power you gain from that to just abuse people.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
No, it's really not okay. And neither is putting makeup on a chimp.
Who put makeup on a gorilla?
I don't know. But it's just like animal testing for makeup and stuff,
That was the weirdest, like the most obscure joke you could possibly make.
I know. It's just when I think of makeup, I just think of monkeys putting on lipstick and stuff, because they're like.
You are a very weird individual.
I really am.
But anyway, let's settle down a little bit from the spicy drama on YouTube and move over to another platform's drama.
Yeah, a reality check on the PC Gaming Master Race. Big up your boy Gabe Newell. Borderlands 3, Randy...
Savage?
No. Is it Randy Pitchmore? I always forget. Let me just check this, because I always fucking forget his surname. But he's got a really memorable and punchable face, but he's just got a really forgetful surname. Is it Randy Pitchmore? It is Randy Pitchmore. Dear God, his face is ugly. I'm just going to remove that from my phone. So Randy Pitchmore, he lied to everybody, blatantly, saying that there's going to be no loot boxes and no paid-for DLC in Borderlands 3. And there is. He just decided that apparently meaning no loot boxes means no free-to-play or pay-to-win stuff. But what he doesn't understand is, in that tiny little warped mind of his, is that these things are real and they will cost money, and he's basically just lied to everybody, told everyone on stage they were going to get free DLC for life, and then quickly U-turned on that after an article called him out on it. And the argument sort of escalated to the point where the director or CEO, if you would, of the gaming magazine in general sort of stepped up and went, "We're completely right on what we've said. You don't understand what that word means. Stop saying it." And then another allegation came out where he assaulted another member of staff, the guy who plays the voice actor for Claptrap, of all people.
I have heard about this.
And Randy's response was, "You were asking for it." How on earth this guy is allowed to run a company is beyond me. And there's also allegations that he siphoned $12 million out of the bonus pool from Gearbox Software's staff and placed it in his own personal offshore accounts.
I mean, that sounds about right for most high-level CEOs, to be honest.
Yeah, but at least the high-level CEOs that we typically deal with don't keep flash drives full of company secrets and camgirl videos in medieval-themed restaurants. But that's besides the point. Moving on from from Gearbox and Borderlands is Epic. They are going to be hosting the PC section of E3 this year, and the CEO of Epic is going to be standing on stage Please don't bring high-powered rifles or Rotten Tomatoes to the event. A simple boo is all you need. So basically, this guy is just made out now to be the asshole of gaming. They're buying their friends, they're buying their partners, they're buying their way into Steam's market, and they're trying to take a perfectly good functioning, peaceful ecosystem off us and basically just run rabid, taking games off the main distribution platform, exclusivity deals. Borderlands is going to tank for the first 6 months until it comes onto Steam. Same with Metro Exodus.
So, yeah, I mean, the thing with Steam is, like Netflix, it only works because there's only one of them. The reason that people know that, Disney's streaming service will fail, or things like CISO failed, is because you pay one fee to get everything you want. You don't pay 12 fees. You just back to the old system.
But the thing is with Steam, they never, ever used exclusivity deals.
No.
They've never had to. They've always been as open and honest as they possibly can. They have a stellar platform. They have an absolutely flawless anti-cheat system, and they don't send their traffic through a server in China. It's all a self-contained, owned company that don't trade openly. It's private. They can do what they want, and they have a very unique way of doing things. And because of that, that's why this platform works. They even put things in place to stop people review bombing games that were going to the Epic Store, like Metro and Borderlands. They put an algorithm in place that basically says, this game's been reviewed bombed for XYZ. Please don't look at the negative reviews. Look at the actual useful ones to you. Just because as soon as Borderlands 3 got announced on the Epic Store, same for fucking Rocket League, because their studio's just been bought by Epic, and suddenly Rocket League's getting review bombed. They're going about everything the wrong way. If they just open the store and not bother with exclusivity deals and allowed an open trading market, everything would be fine. Steam would eventually probably lower their cut that they take from developers, but I think the thing is with Epic, they're not talking about how that cut works. So a lot of the cut that Valve take covers their operating costs. So they take I think it's a 35% cut at the minute, or a 30% cut. But I know that 3/4 of that goes towards the upkeep of the servers, the multiplayer system, the infrastructure, the support, the systems that put the patching in, and of course it puts food on the tables of all the employees that work in these places.
Yeah.
And it runs the data centers. And coming from a network engineer myself, those things aren't cheap to run. So I kind of understand why Valve take that cut, and I think some gamers would prefer to make up that difference if they felt passionate enough about the title. If Blizzard turned around to me one day and said, "Oh, your $9.99 sub just doesn't cover the costs anymore. We're asking for an extra £1 off every single sub. Would you do it for us?" and it went up to $10.99. If they had said to me, "This is to cover the infrastructure costs, this is to cover the cost of developers, and the fact that the coffee machine keeps breaking, and that Leon on the third floor keeps stealing all the toilet paper, and we need to replace it, which costs more money," then I would turn around and go, "Yeah, I'll pay that extra £1."
Yeah, everyone hates when, for example, a subscription service goes up in price. But that's normally because they're not told why it's going up. I think if people are open and honest and say, hey, cost of living's going up, running services costs are going up,
I mean,
this is why we are doing it.
Yeah. I mean, WoW used to be, I think it was $7 or $8.99 a month. It used to be when I was originally playing it, and the costs went up on the subscription fee. But the flip side of that was it coincided with an up in fucking quality and content in the game. Like, we saw higher resolution models, better textures, more gameplay, more elements, more frequent updates, more balance into the game, all because of that sub. And if we know what we're paying for, it makes a lot more sense. It's like in Metro when that developer lashed out and said, if you don't buy the game on our store, then it's not going to be on PC anymore. And then someone upstairs is clearly going, whoa, put that guy in a jacket because he's just fucking cost us 3/4 of our user base.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but
yeah, I mean, like I say, the reason that we've had so many streaming services fail recently is because you only need one, and that's the point. The point is to have a one-stop shop.
And that's what
by Epic forcing people to have their store as well as Steam, it just upsets people. Like, either everything has to move over to Epic flat up all in one, or Epic is going to fight a long fight, waste a lot of money, and end up going down again.
Well, to be fair, I wouldn't mind. The last piece of quality content that Epic churned out was the new Gears of War. Like, I've
never been a fan of Gears of War myself, but
the Gears of War, they're okay. They're okay for a 360 game and so on. I've played 1, 2, 3. I've still not played the other ones, but the original trilogy was fantastic, and that's what made Epic's mark on this current generation. Prior to that, it was the Unreal series. I'll be honest, I haven't seen a decent Unreal game since 2004, and I don't know what the fuck where else they're getting the money from. I don't know if it's just engine royalties or what, because the Unreal Engine, it is a fantastic sort of piece of technology, and it makes some really amazing photorealistic things. But that doesn't justify the fact that the guy in charge seems like a bit of a nut job. Like,
yeah,
he says some really creepy and preachy things if you read his tweets and read some of the sort of like the press releases and things that he's done in the past. Like, he sounds like some sort of naysayer or like doomsday guy that's like, oh yes, well, Steam will end one day and Epic will take over and blah blah blah. And it's like, but no one likes you, mate. You're like that rich kid at school that keeps bringing everyone Magnums. Yeah, we'll keep having them until you start fucking charging for them. You know, it is one of those things. But off the back of that, let's talk about something a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, so some of the, obviously this is gaming news section. I mean, some of it is personal stuff. I mean, this one is something that we're both pretty excited for. You because nostalgia, and me because I never had the chance growing up. Which is WoW Classic.
Oh hell yes! This has probably been covered to death already, but the WoW Classic
we're just touching
beta.
On it.
The beta is currently rolling. We've got a release date for August, so it's a very short time. But I think the reason why they're given that short time is because everyone's just going to fucking jump on it. At the minute, if you want to purchase an account that's got WoW Classic Beta access, I know they're going for up to $1,000. And if you want to rent an account for a week, you're looking at $200 to $300.
So how does that work then? Because in theory, if you're renting an account and you're giving someone the username and password and you change the password in a month's time, yeah? But then they could just steal the account.
Yes. That's apparently how it works. These people.
Because I was like, I'm sure there's going to be something more nuanced about it.
The way I imagine it would work was you log them in, or you're using remote access. You log them into your Battle.net account on their PC. You use the authenticator to give them that one-time bit of access, and then once that week's up, you log in with your authenticator on your own computer and change the password, therefore locking them out. That's the only way I could think it would work. Selling the account obviously makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, people have been selling accounts for years.
Yeah, it seems pretty crazy, but it's going to be exciting. There's going to be a roadmap. They're going to be doing six major content releases for it, so it's going to kind of go how it used to go back in the day. The game engine's all up to date. The graphics are being downgraded, so it'll fucking run on anything. I'm totally stoked, and I've already decided. Going to make a troll priest. We're going to have a shaman. We're going to have a warrior. We've already got like a pre-made group going. In fact, we've got two pre-made groups going, I think, ready for when it launches, and I think I'm the healer in both.
Well, I was going to say about us doing a little bit of WoW playthrough once it comes out.
Yes.
The two of us making like a Horde character, because you don't really play Horde very much.
No, so...
and having a playthrough once it's got the public released and putting it up on the channel.
Totally excited for that. So, Shilling.
Shilling, yeah, onto the Shilling. He's been waiting all recording for this. Will that play WoW?
Holy fuck. There's
you said it'd play on anything.
Yeah, but but it won't play on this because this is an ARM-based CPU. So those who don't know, I've got the Razer Phone 2. It is fucking amazing. It is so sleek, and
it's got half functionality at the minute because his phone number hasn't been ported over from the old phone yet.
Come on, EE, scumbag. But yeah, fantastic phone. Plays all my games on high. I never thought I'd see the day when an Android game would have a settings slider on it and graphical things, but it plays PUBG perfectly fine. Bridge Constructor Portal, which is super addictive. Totally recommend it to people. If you're an absolute tight arse like me and you don't want to pay for games off there, get the Google Rewards app. Answer some questions 3 times a week, like what kind of pot do you piss in, or where do you work, and you'll get like £3, £4, £5 in no time. I've had about 30 quid out of them this year so far, and you can buy the games with the Google Store credit. It's great. It's
really good though. One thing we were both us and the guys at the shop were surprised at is the speakers on this phone.
Yeah,
it is insanely high quality, and you've got a graphic equalizer as well.
Yeah, it's got Dolby Atmos.
It was a little tinny at first, which you usually get, but it's just as loud as our portable speakers.
Yeah, but once you put the Atmos on, that tinniness goes away. It's all full, one bass.
Full bass.
Yeah, and stereo. top and bottom speakers. The screen can be viewed at any angle, and of course, it's got that fucking RGB Razer logo on the back.
Kyle hates RGB, but he fucking loves Razer.
I like Chroma. I hate RGB because it's a fucking meme. But no one ever seems to meme Chroma.
Something we noticed though is we were looking at cases for this phone of yours, and they have a carbon fibre one at like 50 quid, which is a little bit rich really. They've got a black case with a green interior and a green case with a black interior, both of which are like 25 quid. That's a bit more sort of expected amount of money. But they've also got like a hot pink, I believe it's called the quartz case.
It's like a crystal effect.
It's gorgeous. It's absolutely, but it only comes in hot pink, and I'm not a very pink person. I've dyed my hair pink. I love having my hair pink, but it's the only time I'll really wear the colour.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on the side of that as well, the charger...
Give us that in like a white or a blue.
Yeah. The charger is USB-C, and the cable is USB-C on each end. And I have a USB-C port on my Blade Pro, which I never really used for anything. Obviously, it's for like the...
It's for this.
It's clearly for the phone, but also for the core, the external GPU. But like, it went from... It charged in under 2 hours, full charge, from being opened out of the box. And it was nearly dead when I opened it.
Yeah, they normally only give basic battery when you first open it.
Yeah, thoroughly impressed. And the update to Android Pie came out for it, like... as soon as it was available. So when I got it home, it was like, oh, I'm just going to update it to Pi now. I was like, yeah, that's cool. But yeah, so the Razer Phone 2, definitely great. Would recommend it if you like to play games on the go. Full graphics. It does get a bit warm, but it does have the vapor chamber cooling, and if you set the settings correctly for the game, it won't get hot. So, fantastic phone.
Yeah, he's only a couple of days in, so I'm sure we'll hear more about it next week. But
it was more of a celebratory present to myself for... finally getting out of the call centre life.
Because one of the, like I say, we are going to be talking about some more personal stuff. One of the things is we've got good news in that Kyle has finally got a real job.
I'm no longer a phone monkey, I'm a cable monkey.
So hopefully it should come up less in the podcast now. He'll be slightly less angry.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've only been out of the call centre for nearly 48 hours now. And already I can feel my self-esteem, my self-worth, my levels of stress all... being where they should be for a human, as opposed to being incredibly stressed all the time, wanting to die, having to listen to people complain about Wi-Fi, no matter how many times we tell them it's a subjective technology, and to get a fucking cable. I feel great. And I think everybody, if you're listening, you are working in a call centre, if you get an opportunity to leave, and it's an opportunity that you know is going to keep you afloat, and it's something that you love, grab it by the balls, give it a tug, and just fucking go. Like,
a call centre might have job security long term, but they're not good mentally for anybody.
Like Tracer says, the world always needs more heroes, call centres always need more phone monkeys. It's good for an interim job, just don't let yourself get sucked in by it. Otherwise, there are some
people on our floor who've been there 6-7 years who are earning like 2k more than me, and I've been there 1.
Yeah. And I've walked into a job where I'm getting like $8,000 a year more.
Yeah,
but let's not go too far.
Don't let yourself get bogged down. There's a lot out there. I mean, you're going into network engineer, aren't you?
Yeah.
At a data center. So there's stuff out there that will give you the opportunity to learn. And I always think everyone has to serve their time in either retail or a call center.
I've done both.
It's really good for your customer service skills, which everyone needs and everyone wants. But let yourself grow.
Yeah.
Don't take the risk. Sometimes you need to.
You are better than this.
Slightly more back on gaming. I finally picked up the Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
Something that I said in like our first ever episode that I really wanted to play. I finally started playing it, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. So thank you for everyone who recommended it, and thank you to my friend Ant who lent me his copy so I could play it on our very broken PlayStation.
Yeah. And thank you, Kyle's PlayStation, for working long enough to let us play it. I have the first gen PS4, which I got for free. Thank you, Betty. Muchos love for that. She said it had a broken HDMI port, using a heat gun, a lot of patience, and a little bit of swearing. I managed to get it working. Yeah, so Spider-Man, it looks awesome. I've only seen it with the sound off, because for some reason it doesn't like our surround sound.
There's an issue, apparently, with the game in general. I've heard a couple of people have complained about it, where if our PlayStation's hooked up to a Blu-ray surround sound system, and then through to the TV. So everything gets fed through the surround sound system via HDMI cable. apparently the PlayStation with this specific game doesn't really like that very much, and unless it's plugged directly into a TV, the audio files don't play. So you'll get the ambient noise, you'll get anything that's classed as background noise, but any vocal, like it registers as a voice line, just doesn't play. So you'll hear the echo of the voice depending on what room you're in, but you won't actually hear the voice itself unless you've got a set of headphones plugged in.
Yeah, the headphone thing in the controller is an absolute blessing. Like, Sony top notch for putting that in from day one. Being able to plug your own pair of quality headphones into the controller and be in a way wireless, but not quite. It's a really great idea, and you were able to enjoy Spider-Man fully through it with the headphones on.
With the voice lines.
And personally, I'm an advocate of playing games with a headset on.
Yeah.
Because I've got a 7.1.
It lets
headset.
you immerse yourself a bit more. Though you have been bullying me for the way I breathe because of it.
Yeah, it should be like getting into like an intense part of the game. It's like, then I'll be like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, and I'm like,
all the way through.
I mean, I know I get frustrated at video games.
It's not frustration; it's just getting absorbed into the game.
I guess.
I do it with WoW and everything, to be honest. So.
I do sometimes, like when I tell people to get good or uninstall or re-roll. But I wouldn't intensely breathe down the microphone at them because I feel like that could land me in like a bit of
hot water.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good. And our Instagram is still working. Follow us on /2cats.
Yeah, sorry, that's been brought up because we've just had a brief cut for the cats.
Yeah. So yeah, you can look at the cats, laugh at them. We'll probably post some of our gaming stuff on there.
Yeah, it's pictures will always involve the cats. I think that's because it is /2cats. It is primarily about the cats. But we had a post last week about some candles and mini D&D dice I got, mini polyhedral set. With Harley. Here's the backdrop.
I just want to say I tried to play with those dice last week and they are bullshit. But yeah, speaking of D&D, last session.
Yeah. Ant's character, Toby, his new character after Deckard was banished unceremoniously, lost a hand.
He did. And I had to chop it off. Just no.
So to set the scene for you, the guys are in the middle of an all-scale, like all full-out battle in Dis. It's the topmost layer of hell. There are demons and tieflings and all sorts of... Basically, the 6 main families have gone to war all at once. The party have had to travel through dangerous enemy territory and through battle lines to get to a safe spot. They then took a rest, which gave enough time for a contingent of one of the enemies to run forward behind into friendly lines for us and summon a giant monster demon through. This is a character called the Randemon, as in random demon. You can have a quick Google search, you'll come up with a couple of different builds for it. Basically, the idea is it's a constantly shifting beast that will do... Its AC is random, its attack damage, chance to hit is random, everything is randomised.
It's super indecisive. It's like being at the ice cream counter in the cinema and you just can't fucking decide what flavour you want.
So the way I was rolling it was every round I would roll a d4 and that would be how many attacks it got because it would be dependent on how many limbs it had at that moment. It then had a basic claw attack and a ranged spine attack, and I could again mix and match. Now I also had the option of causing a random magical effect, which I did twice and it did nothing dangerous. So I've got a D10,000 table of random magical effects. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah, that really threw me when you was like, could you roll to 10,000 for me? And I was like, what?
Kyle uses his tablet with Roll20 open, and it has an inbuilt dice roller. You will give it a number, and it will roll in that random number limits. But yeah, we had a look. I gave him some examples off the table because I want to use it a bit more anyway. And we rolled from there. But so the Randemon, like I say, you attack it, and I roll a d20, and its AC is 10 plus whatever I got on the d20. So it could be as low as 11, it could be as high as 30. You didn't do too bad though, and I did give you a high-powered NPC to help with the fight as well, so it wasn't too unbalanced.
She was basically the tank.
To be honest, she was busy summoning the real tank, so she wasn't really doing much.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did do to spice up the Randemon a little bit was I wanted to bring minions into it, because I knew I was giving you the extra bonus with the NPC. And so I had it where its blood was spilled. Anything that touched the blood would be consumed by it and turned into a minion. The party didn't pick this up very quickly and kept like attacking it at head height and then getting showered with blood. Now, Ant had actually come forward to me and spoken to me in the week about wanting Toby to lose a hand. It was the player's decision. I don't like making those decisions for characters unless it is absolutely necessary. He came to me and asked if it was possible, and I worked it in. So I had you guys making dexterity checks and rolling to see what part of you got hit with this blood. So a couple of you lost a couple of bits of armour to it. Now, this was all planned because Toby's character wasn't wearing any armour. So if he got splashed, he was screwed. And basically it was just a waiting game of making you lose shoes and gloves until he finally rolled low enough to get hit by it. And yeah, we had this moment in the middle of this massive heat of combat of him slowly being overtaken by this demonic blood, slowly seeping down in his fingertips and into his hand, before you finally raised your sword and sliced off the limb. And our druid then stepped in to heal the stump closed.
It's pretty fucking metal.
It was a lot, right in the middle of combat, and then you have to immediately jump back in and continue this. Bearing in mind, you'd had 2 bouts of combat before. You'd had to fight the Chain Devil, which you managed to get around without combat, to be fair. You worked around that. And then you had that massive fight with the...
testicle bird things.
The Akanar. They're a custom creature I made, basically like Demon Aarakocra, sort of based on Plague Doctors in appearance. So they've got this leathery flesh. But you guys fought them, and you did really well. That was the first time I've run a big combat with a lot of spellcasters. I tend to try and avoid them because it's complicated. So I was quite proud of how that went. But you were already run down and tired, and you're in the middle of a war, and I wanted that run down, exhausted feeling to come across in the characters. So even though you did have a short rest, obviously you still weren't at 100%. And so it's a slog. But you managed to defeat the Randemon, and the NPC friend portaled you all back to the material plane. Back to your character's monastery, because you brought with you the beast.
Yeah, which is the guy I put into the world. He was based roughly on the Doom Marine, a lost paladin from the Order that was perpetually slaying other demons and figured out a way to rejuvenate himself, either through a trinket item or weapon that he procured while he was down there. And
so yeah, we ended up having it that his sword would consume demon souls and use it to fuel himself.
So he's been down there like 300-400 years. He's well lived past beyond the age of which any human should. And
his mind's deteriorated into almost nothingness at this point.
But we brought him back because they might be able to save him. And who knows, maybe he can't die because he's fucking slayed that many of those fuckers.
Well, I have told you that making allies and friends for the end game is going to be really important. So I was very proud of you when you went out of your way to try and bring him back. Because it means that you obviously remembered that and were focusing on how that might affect in the long run.
Well, yeah, and you can't really ever forget the guy that rips out the spine of a demon and beats him to death with it.
Yeah, in front of you. That's your first contact.
It was amazing. It was brilliant.
But yeah, just a sort of brief D&D update there. Like I say, it's been a lot of combat lately, so there's not been a whole lot of plot happening. That's all about to change.
Yeah. But just to sort of close things off, I wanted to talk about the curse of Adobe and its products.
Yeah, so this is probably going to go up late because we've been having technical issues. We had technical issues last week.
Yeah.
And it's all because Adobe.
Yeah. I did some work on a new compiling machine. Before we were literally using an old work machine that it was running 4 gig of RAM. I've now got a machine with 24 gigs of RAM and a decent graphic card and a decent CPU, and it compiles loads better. The only problem is Adobe killed the Windows installation twice, so I've had to do a little bit of fiddling, a little bit of work to get it all up and running to where I need it to be. And off the back of that as well, I just wanted to say that to other people out there who do use the Creative Cloud services, I do understand that Adobe have changed things where you can only install 2 previous builds of their software. So if you, for example, preferred like After Effects 15, for example, and we're now in 19, that version soon isn't going to work anymore So it might be worth looking at an open source alternative or something like that. But the main reason that we've been struggling with our uploads is purely because of software issues.
Yeah.
And it won't be happening again because I've made a fucking backup image of the entire OS with all of its software functioning as it should of time of backup. So in future, we should actually be able to churn out episodes much easier. And we can also actually make video content as well as audio content now.
Yeah.
Because I have the hardware in place that's got enough cojones to actually compile a motion video.
Yeah, and I'm off work this week, so I'm going to be experimenting with a couple of bits. I'm currently planning on doing a small stream on probably Wednesday, just so we can sort of get a feel for it, get the ball rolling. I'm probably not going to be playing anything massively amazing, maybe a bit of Minecraft, a bit of City Skylines. I'll put a little bit of a poll in the iCard in the top corner if you want to have a quick look there. I'll probably stick it on Twitter and everything as well later on in the week. But yeah, I mean, it's good. I feel like now that you've especially moved jobs and we're actually looking at houses at the minute, we're getting more settled. I mean, the houses we're looking at have all got massive offices, so we can have a proper recording setup in there.
Yeah.
With all the soundproofing, so no more echo. Plus, none of them have got 12-foot ceilings.
Yeah, and we've also got space to get the VR set up. So once that's up and running, I'm going to be streaming on my own personal channel quite a lot of VR. Expect a lot of shooting games, maybe some sort of Japanese games that get recommended quite a lot from our weird friends out there. Yeah, so yeah, we'll be looking at that. We're really excited to get it started. There may be a bit of a delay, but hopefully we'll have a couple backlogged episodes when we do move.
Yeah, that's the plan this week, is to get a backlog built up, so we're not recording last minute anymore.
Yeah, and there's going to be a good chance we're going to be offline for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, at least. We're probably going to be moving over the course of about a month, just because it's going to be a big job. We're in this tiny flat at the minute, and there's just so much stuff just everywhere. There's a lot to go through.
Yeah, there really is.
But yeah, thanks for listening anyway, guys. Like I say, it's been a bit of a higgledy-piggledy episode, but we hope you enjoyed it anyway.
If you didn't enjoy one bit, but you enjoyed another, that's all that matters.
But yeah, go and have a look up some of the drama that's been kicking off. It's funny as fuck.
Don't forget to look at the memes. The Pro Jared memes are great.
The memes are what it's all about.
Yeah.
What's the point if not the memes?
Yeah, that's very true.
But yeah, what are we going to cover next week then, Kyle?
I think we should do a little bit more on our Punch Wizard.
Yeah, some more of Kivara's story.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we can certainly have a look at that. We can build the story. We can build up some side characters. Yeah, we'll see what we can get done.
Hell yeah.
Maybe invite a couple of friends in and have a bit of a play and see what the world brings us.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Right.
This is going to go terribly.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks very much for listening, guys. And we'll see you next week.
Bye for now.
Bye.